can hear it on the audio or not, but my hips are popping like crazy. There's no pain associated with it. It's perfectly fine if your hips and joints make a little bit of noise when you're doing these. And let that relax. Our next group, back extension, so flat on your back. Arms and legs out, full extension. And lift it. Arch it up nice and high. Down. A little bit of a hover for the harder version. Squeeze it up. Back down. Try to get your chest and thighs up off the ground as high as you can each time. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Don't snap those arms and legs up. And flip it over onto your back. Doing an X crunch. So arms and legs out just a little bit. Left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot. Start up. Up. Just alternating back and forth. Kind of like a toe touch crunch. You're doing alternating sides. Keep those core muscles nice and tight. Keep that lower back flat against the ground. And let it relax. Back over onto that stomach. Arms and legs out, full extension. Start up. Arch up nice and high. A little bit of a hover. Right back up. Keep those lungs open. Full extension on those arms. Let it relax. Flip it back over. X crunch again. Remember, hands and feet nice and wide. And start it. This is our last exercise of this group. We got one more group to go. We started off with just a traditional crunch, so nothing real fancy. And let it relax. Bring those feet in just a little bit closer. Hands behind your head. Keep those elbows outside of your field of vision. And crunch it up. Nice and slow down. Keep a little bit of a hover. Don't let those abs release. Right back up. Don't let that lower back come up off the ground. As soon as it does, you're doing a sit-up rather than a crunch, and we want to just do a crunch. Flip it over onto your stomach. We're doing a traditional plank. So elbows and toes, or elbows and knees, whichever you can do. Bring it up. And freeze. So we're just doing this one for 20 seconds. On our last round, we're going to try to go for as long as we possibly can. So we got just a little bit longer in this one. Keep those abs nice and tight. Belly button pulled in. And let it relax. Back over onto your back. Last round of a traditional crunch. Hands behind your head. Crunch it up. Keep those abs nice and tight. Get up as high as you can without actually letting that lower back come up off the ground. Elbows outside your field of vision. As you do this, you're going to want to bring them in. Try to keep them back, barely touching the back of your head. And flip it back over. This is our last exercise. Like I said, hold it as long as you possibly can. Traditional plank. And start up. So get those hips up nice and high. Just let it relax. As much as you can anyway. Belly button pulled in nice and tight. Straight line from shoulder to ankle. Just breathe normally. Go to your happy place. We're going to let the timer run out here. Just keep going. Just hold it there nice and steady. Whew. Like I said, go to your happy place. Try to hold it as long as you can. Just breathe normally. Keep your lungs open. You can probably see my body starting to tremble like crazy. Whew. Keep going, keep going. Ouch. After doing a nice long core workout, holding like this just burns those muscles out completely. So just, like I said, go to your happy place. Just hold it as long as you can. If you need to drop to your knees, go ahead. Whew, short little break. Ouch. Keep it going. Oh, let it relax. If you can keep going, go for it. If you can beat me, by all means, keep pushing yourself. My abs are toast, so I'm going to go ahead and quit. So, for me, that was my last.
This is Fitness Blenders, lower body, and every single time that right leg comes up, you're reaching down with that left hand. Just try to keep that leg as straight as you can, getting a good stretch for that hamstring every single time. Almost done, we've got slow up and out knee, those hips. Guys, is going to be just a traditional squat, so you're not going to need any equipment for this routine except for an optional exercise mat. So let's not waste any time, we'll jump right into our warm-up. Our first exercise is going to be just a traditional squat, just body weight. Drop it down really nice and low. Since you don't have any extra weight here, you want to really focus on trying to get as much range of motion, really warming up those knees and those hips. If you want to, keep those first few repetitions a little bit more shallow, and then work into a deeper range of motion later on. We'll be starting out those alternating toe touches in just a second. And start them up. You're going to be switching back and forth, left to right leg. Every single time you kick your left leg up, you're reaching down with your right hand. And every single time that right leg comes up, you're reaching down with that left hand. Just try to keep that leg as straight as you can, getting a good stretch for that hamstring every single time. Almost done, we've got slow up and out knees next. Alright, go ahead and start that motion up. It's going to be a nice big range of motion on that knee. Like an upside down U, you want to bring that knee straight up, arc it over like you're trying to step over a really tall fence. Drop it down with that knee out to the side as wide as you can, and then slowly bring it back. Just keep alternating back and forth, left to right. We're almost done, we've got slow high knees next. And start those high knees up. This is a really nice high motion. This is basically just marching in place, but trying to get that knee up to your chest as high as you possibly can, getting a really nice tight squeeze on that hip flexor every single time. I only have one more exercise left. We've got jumping jacks coming up. We're going for a full minute on this one. And start them up. It's a nice traditional jumping jack. Every time those arms come up, those legs go apart. Every time those arms come back down to your sides, those legs come back together. Nice quick motion, just barely let that foot touch before you're moving back in the opposite direction. Make sure those arms are nice and rigid, make sure those legs are nice and rigid. Don't let those arms just swing around. You want to keep that shoulder and that bicep and tricep nice and contracted, those arms completely rigid to get the most out of this workout. By the time you're done with this, you want to have that heart rate coming up and you want to be nice and warm. Almost done. Just 10 seconds left. Keep those jumping jacks going nice and even. 5 seconds. And let it relax. Alright, for our interval training, we're going to be doing 45 seconds of a high intensity interval, 45 seconds of a medium intensity, and then 30 seconds of a low intensity active rest. We're doing each one of these twice through. We've got 4 total to go through, and then we've got a burnout at the end. So let's go ahead and get started with our first exercise, the high knees. And start them up. Get those knees moving really nice and fast. You want those feet barely touching the ground before you're pulling it right back up again. Driving those knees up as high as you possibly can. Try and get that knee as high over that hip joint as possible. Just keep it moving as quickly as possible. You've got about 30 seconds left. Keep driving through it. And keep those feet moving.